Hello again. I'm sure you guys came up with a lot of great communication agreements based on your guys' experience, but I wanted to just clarify on our Friends Forever agreements because we ask all of our participants all around the world to adhere to these same concepts. So the first is English. This goes because in many communities that we work with, English is as neutral an option of a language as we can ask them to speak in, but it's also because people in America don't often speak languages other than English. So we ask that in all program activities and hanging out in the house, during all 3 phases of the program, that everything is done in English. However, we do understand that it's, difficult to communicate maybe if you're emotional or something and it's easier in your mother tongue. So if students do have to translate for a few sentences, they can do that. We just ask that they let people know that, excuse me, I'm going to be translating, and then translate back into English for whoever is in the room. 1 person speaks at a time. I'm sure this is on your list. Ask questions if you don't understand. So we always encourage participants to ask questions if they don't understand what somebody is saying, whether it be a language barrier or, maybe they're speaking to an old person and they can't hear it. But we want them to understand that sometimes a lot of the conflict that happens within, your friend group or something is really a misunderstanding. So we encourage them to ask questions if they don't understand the first time. Not to speak over others. Again, I'm sure you have that. Seek to understand before being understood. So this is a big one that is kind of new to a lot of our participants and sometimes even leaders and teachers that come over, is that our first instinct is to always try to be understood and try to be heard when you're in a conversation. But we want participants to recognize that it's equally as important to try to understand what the other person is saying. So we ask them to try to do that first. Step up, step down, kind of basic in group work. If there's somebody who is someone who's always filling in the silence and the gaps and they, are often speaking, we ask them to take a step back and let those who may not be the first one to jump in and speak feel comfortable to be able to step up. The same thing, we ask them to challenge themselves if there's somebody who usually steps back and lets other people fill the silence. We want them to be one of the first ones to step in. Speak for yourself, no generalization. This is pretty similar to the I statements. Reacting to the idea, not the person. Again, this is sometimes difficult for people to understand, but we mean that, if you say, I hate chocolate, you're not going to right away say, Chelsea, you're stupid, you're crazy, how can you not like chocolate? First, you're going to try to understand the idea and react to the idea that I've expressed, not me as a person. And the final one, no cell phones during activities or conversations. So as you know, in the US, our participants are not allowed cell phones, but in any Friends Forever activity, whether it be, back in someone's home country, in our volunteer opportunities here, we have a no cell phone policy. So that is that. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to clarify at another time, and I'm sure Christine and Belmeet can also do so. See you soon.